Hello, divine, beautiful souls. This is Energy Speaks Podcast with your host, Catriel. We have a beautiful guest on tonight. Her name is Reya Soul. Hey, Reya.
Hello, hello.
How are you doing tonight?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing really well. So you're coming from Atlanta, right?
I am an hour north of Atlanta.
Coolio. Oh, wow. So Reya, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, come on.
Oh God.
It's to me. No, yeah, I'm in Red Top Mountain State Park. I am so grateful to be staying in a beautiful home here, backed by thousands of acres of preserved lands, the lands of the Cherokee Indigenous people.
Yes.
And yeah, it's amazing out here. It's been raining all day, so I got a beautiful nature session out in the rain, singing and dancing with the waters, and just enjoying and relaxing. It's going to be a big, busy week ahead, so I was really grateful to have the day to relax and be with nature.
Oh, that sounds so beautiful. And you've already brought up something that's really close to my soul.
Mm.
So I am part Cherokee,
Mm.
within my heritage, and I was actually talking to my best friend last night on how I was going through the different clans within the Cherokee tribe, and I don't know why I always felt like I had a strong like connection to the Wolf clan and the Bear clan. And
Mm.
I don't know why I'm bringing this up right now, but
Mm-hmm.
like God, I met you about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
and through that beautiful ceremony that we had, and like just how you have this like native soul and
Mm.
connection to the earth. Um, especially you've worked with like permaculture and like from my understanding, permaculture is very native and um, like how does all of this where you're living, the experiences that you've gone through, like how does that like go to the depths of your soul, and how does that shape you? I don't know why I'm asking it like that, but
Going right in. You're Scorpio, right? Deep Scorpio questions. I should have been prepared. Oh, yeah. So if I'm hearing you correctly, kind of like going into how the connection to Mother Earth and just the native lands and indigenous ways are kind of shaping me as a person.
You're fading out a little bit. We don't have a stable connection.
We are out in the woods. Is this better?
That is perfect.
Okay. So yeah, so kind of just like my connection to Mother Earth and how it is kind of shaping the ways that I move through life. Is that your question?
Yeah, I mean, like all of the above. Like just lay it on me.
Okay. Uh, I am just so grateful. This is my first podcast, so I'm just really grateful to be here. And forgive me if I seem nervous. I'm like Yeah, it's we met, yeah, a year ago, and I feel like that's kind of, actually was reflecting on it today, and I became nomadic about a year ago. So to me, nomad means of no fixed address.
Hmm.
So for the past year, just been traveling and mainly doing work trades for in exchange for stay. And most of those work trades do look like working on farms, tending lands, and yeah, I guess my life kind of just hit this breaking point. I grew up in Atlanta, primarily Smyrna, Marietta. So I was really close to the city. I was really close to, I guess, like the suburban structure. And my connection to nature was very surfaced. So eventually, in 2019, during winter, I just hit this breaking point, and it seemed like my life had hit a wall, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this, working, you know, 30 plus hours a week to barely make enough for rent, and feeling claustrophobic in my one bedroom apartment, and just feeling this need to get out, to feel free. So I pretty much packed my little Honda CRV and headed down to Florida. And the only thing that was really promised was the warmth of the sun. I didn't really know anyone. My dad lived there, so I was able to stay with him, thankfully. And then from there, it kind of just started unfolding, and I got to work trade on a 60-acre orange grove that just so happened to be 5 minutes from my dad's house in this small little town called Floral City, and rural Florida. And it just so happened to be a permaculture farm. And I got to take a permaculture design course where I spent 3 weeks on a permaculture homestead learning about sustainable systems, regenerative systems, regenerative farming, just like close to the earth living. And then I studied at Traditions Herbal School and started learning herbalism. And it kind of just all started like unfolding, this deep, deep remembering of like, wow, this knowledge is ancient knowledge that I have known before. And it just kind of unlocked this new level of like freedom of self, and freedom of being in my world. And it has now come to a point of how I give back to my community. So yeah.
That's, it's so interesting how many synchronicities are interwoven with what you just spoke. Last year, I actually moved up to Floral City for, it was a week before COVID really started.
Oh my gosh, you were in Floral City. What?
And also a friend that I was connected with last year as well. Her name, well, her, Miriam. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, like stayed on that same farm. It's like so interesting how small the
Beautiful.
world is. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and then of course, back in 2017, I took my first course at Traditions. Like,
Wow.
like, it's just so incredible to see the synchronicities and how we all are connected. And also, what what beautiful community we're actually building, like
Mm-hmm.
that we come from different walks of life, and we come from all different spaces and somehow we are linking up at these incredible spaces and what they're offering. On that same note, I know the last, within this past year, you've been cultivating, a community of your own up, in your area. Please tell us what you're doing. Like, give us some deets.
Oh my goodness. Well, it really took me leaving the Atlanta area and spending the last year in Florida and meeting all of the Florida community. And like you said, like Florida community is so tight knit, like it's so beautiful. It was so heart opening for me to be so welcomed into this Florida community, and then come back to Atlanta and then realize like I want to set roots here again. Like these are my homelands and I was born here for a reason. So that kind of, I guess, came through this winter. I came back home just to visit family and then realized that I'm going to set some roots here. And it has just been like a snowball effect of opportunities. And, the pandemic really put people in their little crab shells or little turtle shells, I guess. And when I got back to Atlanta, nothing was happening, and that was like unheard of because Atlanta is like things going on every day of the week. But when I got back, it was just like, dust storm. It was like desolate. So it really gave me, I guess, like this sense of like action. So I was like, okay, we need to get things going, like where is everyone? Like we need to gather. Like I miss gathering. I miss dancing. I miss singing with my family around the fire. Like we did that so much in Florida. So I got connected with the Herb Shop Healing Center, which is a beautiful, beautiful sacred space in Canton, Georgia, it's run by Sally, who is a naturopathic doctor and a beautiful motherly figure, friend, and mentor in my life who just believes in me. And I came to her asking for advice about how to move forward, as a healing arts facilitator in this area with little experience, but lots of, I guess, life experience, but little actual experience in the work. And she was like, just start offering classes here. Let's go. Like, let's do it. So it pretty much just kind of snowballed from there. We have a beautiful community in the city that gathers every Saturday at a beautiful home, and we do a potluck and fire and just tell stories and support each other. And we have a red tent that is being started up by a beautiful sister here soon. We have Dancing Tree Festival, which happens in Blue Ridge, Georgia, every 2 years, which is a healing arts gathering that kind of has classes and workshops on eco-conscious living. So a lot of my friends and I are going to be facilitating workshops for that. Wow. And then on top of all of this beautifulness, the space that I'm staying at, which is owned by a beautiful, beautiful friend of mine, he is offering his home. He has 2 homes on this land. It's 2 acres, and he has 2 homes, and he is offering one of the homes as a event space, retreat center, and vacation rental. And when I tell you not, it is literally a bungalow pirate ship.
That's incredible.
It is so beautiful, Catriel. It is 3 stories, backed by thousands of acres of the forest. It has an outdoor shower, an outdoor bathtub, and the most beautiful part about it is it was built by his hands, made entirely with recycled wood that he found in trash and in dumpsters. And he's also a professional rock climber, so there's things to climb in here. We have a wood furnace that heats the home in 20 minutes, and it's just like, I just had to trust. I came back with not knowing how I was gonna, integrate back into my Atlanta community, and it all just fell right into place.
That's, and it really goes to show, like, you listening to your inner guidance, and how sometimes, like, I don't know how you were feeling, but sometimes we don't want to go back to the place where we began.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I'm sorry.
And sometimes it can be like, well, why do I gotta go back? Like, but you built something. You built something so beautiful that, will be able to be seen much longer than just like this snapshot of a moment. You're connecting a community, and I feel like, especially with our community, that we're travelers. We like to go out there and experience and go on the road and see different places. And as we connect to all of these different communities, we're connecting them together. We know each other, and now this world that we're in, it's like we're connecting these little like, I don't know, connect, like, how do you even put it? Like,
I think it's like we're planting seeds.
Yes.
Planting beautiful, beautiful seeds.
And those roots are growing, and those roots are like rippling out, growing out. And now when, like, when I go and travel, now I can go and see you in a different space and see what you built,
my favorite part.
and because sometimes, I know during COVID, we were all in our homes and we didn't know what to do with each other. Like, we didn't know what to do. But now it's time that people are literally getting out there and traveling. It's in...
Well, as much as we can.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess I'm speaking for myself. I just literally went all the way around the country. But one thing I noticed... Sorry?
Oh, I said that's awesome. Hell yeah.
Right? But, like, one thing that I noticed is I knew a lot of people on the East Coast, but not so much. I didn't know many people on the West. And as I went out there and went there for the first time and activated those spaces and met new people, now those people I can reconnect with when I go back. And we build community together, and somehow, like, maybe my friend from Seattle will meet my friend in Georgia. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Like, it's like this one web of creations, and it's so beautiful.
Yes, weaving the webs.
Yes.
Spider.
I know when we were having a conversation before, you had mentioned that you just had your first women's circle.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell me about that?
Oh my goddess. Yes, I was so lucky to reconnect with a beautiful sister who I've known for a long time, about 4 years, but we haven't really connected deeply, and we were able to really sit and connect. And she came and stayed And I think it was 4 days before the full moon in Sagittarius this past week.
Mm.
We were like, let's do a women's circle. Let's do it.
I love
It
it.
was like 10 o'clock at night. We're just sitting here, I've been in many women's circles. She's facilitated them. I've co-facilitated. So we felt very confident and just ready. And, but yeah, under the full moon in Sagittarius, we had about 10 women gather here, and my beautiful sister led us through. We did a potluck and just, got to introduce everyone and connect and socialize. And then we sat in circle with the medicine song and talked about what we wanted to do for the evening. And it felt like the consensus was to move our bodies. So we had a beautiful sister facilitate this embodiment movement for like 2 hours. We were just going through all these beautiful practices, eye gazing, like reflection therapy, dancing with each other, hugging each other. And it was very, very powerful, especially because it was my first time facilitating and making sure everyone's okay and feels safe. And towards the end of it, I was crying like a baby. And I was just like, what I say? I say this one thing. It's like when you heal yourself, you heal your family, you heal your friends, you heal your ancestors, and you heal all of humanity, and you heal all generations to come. And I'm trying to say this, but I'm like choking over my tears. And I'm like, you heal yourself, you heal your family. And I'm just crying. And then all the women just come in and give me this big, beautiful hug. And I'm in the center of these goddesses. And we just stayed there. We just stayed there all crying together and flowing and feeling. And it was like being in a beautiful rose is what it felt like.
Wow.
And
That's beautiful.
I probably cried the hardest like I ever have in my life in there. Like, and it wasn't just crying for me. I felt like I was crying for them. I was crying for our families, and I was crying for humanity. It felt so, I couldn't even tell you why I was crying.
Hmm.
It was so deep, and my heart was it just bursted open. For the next 3 days, I was like so sensitive and just needed to ground all of that energy.
Wow. The divine feminine energy is like none other. Like, this warm embrace, you know.
Mm, nurturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I was feeling um a little bit like I needed that today, and I didn't get to take a lot of care of myself today, and
Mm,
because there's been so much running around lately. I feel like this
yeah.
Mercury retrograde / Gemini season has literally been like 1, 2, 3, let's go, and I'm like,
Go, 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 go. Yes.
ah, and I'm like uh, it's like time's being sucked into a black hole, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, what just happened? And I do my best to take, like carve out time for myself, and I'm just like, this is interesting.
Hmm.
But what I'm noticing, actually now really feeling into it, is it's not about necessarily carving out the time. It's more so about really feeling into the moment and allowing
Ooh.
myself to like feel it fully, even if I'm feeling like I can't take any more energy at this moment in time. That pause is everything.
Yes.
Because, you know,
Ah, Yes.
Sometimes, like, we just have to push through it. It's kind of like childbirth,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I've never done it, but like, but like you know, like you can't stop halfway. It can't just be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it kind of just there. Like, and you gotta really feel into that and use that energy to propel you
Mm.
forward.
Mm. Yes.
Had no clue I'd be talking about
Beautiful.
this today.
Beautiful realizations, because, like, I mean, yeah, like, we got to get our needs met.
Right.
And we can't always carve out time to get our needs met because life is life and life is going to throw at you whatever it throws at you. And you got to get ready for those fastballs. Like you said, you can't stop in the middle of labor. So again, like I said, feeling into those moments where you can create that space is everything.
Right. You know, it's really okay. This is a really weird like way I'm gonna go with this, but um, you know, like you said, life is spontaneous. It's not like watching a show on Amazon Prime and then being able to pause it. Like, like that's unrealistic. So on that topic, I was literally watching this new show. Um, uh, that at least it's new to me. It's The Marvelous Miss Maisel, and it's about this Jewish woman comes from a Jewish family, ends up marrying a Jewish guy, and then
Mm,
all hell breaks loose. He's
mm,
actually a guy that wants to start, you know, doing comedy, and she's helping him with this whole process, and you get to see this at the very beginning, you know? And then all of a sudden, he has a bad show, and he decides, oh, I don't want to be with my wife anymore. I can't handle, you know, what I just went through on stage. And then he reveals to her that he's cheating on her, and
mm, mm,
they have two kids together, and it's just like, wait,
mm,
what? And then you see like this beautiful organic like process happen where she you know, in Judaism we have what is called Yom Kippur, and it's the Day of Atonement,
mhm,
where we, you know, allow ourselves to, you know, give up all our cares and transgressions and all the things that, you know, maybe we've missed the mark, give it to God. And
mm,
it's the day before Yom Kippur, and he leaves her.
mm,
She doesn't know what to do. And she decides that she's gonna go to the same bar where where her husband was doing this comedy act, and just go in there and just kind of process the energy of what just happened and how he just left. And she's in her nightgown, literally walking around, and she gets up on stage and just starts doing a comedy act.
mm,
And it's like that was her most raw and organic moment. I'm actually looking at the drink here in front of me, and it says raw is real. And that's what it was. It was real. And then
mm,
she took that moment and realized that how much she had love for comedy, and
mm,
how that allowed her to express her truth and allowed her to go deep within
mm,
her soul and her inner self and really find understanding. And then there's a moment where she crossed certain boundaries on the stage of you know, expressing her truth, and it kind of put a negative spin on things by talking badly about someone, and how she had to literally create a new image for herself after in the comedy
mhm,
world she was essentially screwed. And then a friend came in there to help her out. and pave a new way for her. And it just shows you through that process, even when we're dealt with the deepest of shit, we can make a shift and allow it to be, this raw organic thing, like kind of like within permaculture, like how, all of the stuff you're learning in we have to have that shit in order to allow things to grow. Wow. Insights on a podcast. I'm just speaking. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, think of the compost pile, in comparison, right? Like, you literally use death and decay to rebirth nutrient dense, food for your garden. Like, how beautiful is that? Nothing is wasted in permaculture. There is no trash. And that's the idea, is that everything can be like, so in social permaculture, we take the principles, right? So one of the principles in permaculture is produce no waste. So in life, in social permaculture, that principle is learn from your mistakes. There is no such thing as failure. You just toss it into the compost pile, and now you've got more insight and more wisdom for the future.
And
right?
That is beautiful. I mean, our ancestors really, instilled us with that wisdom, and that's when we go to like the soul level of things and realizing, what is actually in our soul, like what can we really illuminate, like, I know when I spoke to even my granny, back in the day, like she had a completely different perspective for the world. She didn't, have cell phones, technology like we do now. And so things were more raw and organic.
Yeah, can I just also add in there that we've only had cell phones for like what, 30-ish years? 30? Right? Like, yeah, we are the guinea pigs of these amazing, extraordinary, brilliant devices.
We are the technology.
Yeah.
Our inner compass, our intuition, our instincts, all of that is the pure. It's the pureness. Not that technology's bad, but it's a tool. And
absolutely.
Like how we use it.
But yeah, it's all about how we create that relationship with it, just like anything in life.
Yes.
Anything can be bad. Anything, so it's all about the boundaries and the relationship that we create. And like you said, using technology as an amazing tool.
Right. Like for even this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. How cool is that? Amazing.
Like, wow.
Yeah, it can be detrimental. It can. So we have to learn. We have to learn where those boundaries are. And that's why I say we're the guinea pigs. We're learning how to set those boundaries with these crazy, beautiful, amazing, brilliant devices.
Right. And being guided to ask, like, what are some ways that you find the connection with yourself, that your inner compass, like how does that illuminate for you? Like, what is your process?
Definitely healing arts, expressive arts, using music, using dance, using prayer, using visual art, connecting with, the plants. All of these beautiful healing arts are ways that I can connect with my inner world and gain insight and wisdom. Poetry, expressive, written word, and spoken word, all of it, any of it. Cooking,
Do you have any
any
spoken word
creative.
to share with us?
I was actually gonna say I would love to share a medicine song with you.
Oh my God, yes, please.
Yeah, do we have time for a little medicine song?
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Let me grab my drum. And this is a Yoruba medicine song, so native indigenous of Africa, to the goddess Oshun, if I am correct. And it's called Irewere. Let me grab my. I learned this from a beautiful, beautiful medicine man, brother of mine, and it hit really home because I have my mother's family is from Puerto Rico, and the people of the island they come from Africa, they come from Spain, and they come from the native indigenous Taino people. So African culture is very celebrated in Puerto Rico, and my aunt taught me a lot about the 8 orishas, so this one means a lot to me. Chakini Banita Oshu Cheke Nitaya Ire Were Nita Oshu Ire Were Nita Oshu Were Nitaya Ochakini Banita Oshu Cheke Nitaya Ire Were Nita Oshu Ire Were Nita Oshu Ire Were Nitaya Ochakini Banite Oshun Cheke Nitaya Ire Oshun.
Whoa. That was incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Like, I was just so relaxed. Just really feeling it. I saw so many visuals.
Oh, beautiful.
Like, even though I'm in a podcast studio right now, I was not in a podcast studio. I was definitely in nature in some other land. It was incredible.
Maybe in Africa.
I literally feel like I was under a African tree.
Oh.
Like, literally under an African tree. Like, I oh my gosh. You played that so beautifully. Thank you.
Our ancestors always visit us when we sing their medicine songs.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Thank you for being so open to hearing and receiving.
It came through like so well too. Like, wow.
Isn't it so beautiful? It's so, so sweet. It's one of my favorites.
Do you have that recorded?
I don't.
I'm just putting it out in there into the universe.
Oh, well, it's out there. You can look it up. It's called Ide Were.
Yeah,
So it's IDE space WERE. And yeah, if you just type that in, there's a beautiful YouTube video of it, and the lyrics are up there and everything, so you can sing along.
That's awesome. Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us tonight?
Well, I just want to express gratitude for this moment and for having me on your Energy Speaks. I love the work that you're doing. I love your presence in my life and this kindred friendship that we've grown over the past year. You have inspired me so much, and even with the little moments we've had, taught me so much about astrology. And yeah, I'm really grateful. I feel like we could talk forever. I know we can.
Thank you so much. And same, like, your friendship, even though they've been small moments, like, in time, it's like I've known you my whole life.
It surely feels that way. It really does. And your story is remarkable and unique and empowering and beautiful. And I cherish your story so much, and I carry it in my earth walk, and I remember it often. And
thank you. You're gonna make me cry, man. Every time I'm on here, I'm about to cry.
Oh, good. Release those tears, babe. It's for you.
Oh, babe.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited for you and Energy Speaks and everything.
Thank you. Like, today was just so raw and organic, and I thank you so much for being on this podcast and just sharing your path, your walk, your journey.
It would be a disservice not to. You know, our stories are so needed and are so valuable. You never know who your story might affect, might inspire, might uplift. So it is one of the greatest services we can do is to share our story. So thank you for providing a platform for people to do that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and it's with honor. So I just want to tell our listeners, the next part, excuse me, my voice. Our next episode, we will have Alasa, also known as E-Star, E. She is going to be on, and with her cosmic channelings and everything. I have no idea what to expect, and I expect nothing because that would disserve everything. But that will be for the next podcast, and I thank you all, listeners, divine, beautiful souls, thank you so much. This is
Mm.
Catriel with Energy Speaks. Over and out.